What's up, comic book fans? And welcome to Comics Icons. Now, JJ, what they call me. And today, we got more Blood Hunt. This time with issue 3 of the main series. And if you guys missed any parts of this series, then I put up a card for you at the top of the screen. And I put a link at the end of the video to the playlist. But it was in that last issue of this Blood Hunt series where we had gotten a reveal of both Black Panther and Miles Morales, that they both been turned into vampires along with Doctor Strange, whose reveal we had gotten in his tie-in issue. But not to be outdone though, the Avengers finally got a shot at hitting back against Blade and his vampires in their round 2 rematch. They were able to take out Megrim, the psychic of the Blood Coven group. So if you guys are ready to find out what in the world happens with Miles Morales and his vampire curse, and how Blade retaliates after losing one of his own, plus the reveal of what it was that Blade wanted the Black Panther to retrieve from Wakanda form, finally, then you guys know what time it is. Let's get it. So we kick this issue off inside of the Impossible City. And Blade is speaking with the Black Panther, who's found Blade's prize that he had sent Black Panther to Wakanda to locate. Then Blade demands that he have the city spin up his mass translocation drives to bring it to him. Wanda, meanwhile, while still a prisoner of Blade's along with Thor, who's keeping the Blood Coven full off of God blood, begins to taunt Blade, because she's noticed that his Blood Coven came back one short. So she knows that the Avengers must have been prepared for round 2, after Blade's round 1 sneak attack. But then we pick up at the Sanctum Sanctorum, with the heroes having all regrouped there, and Spider-Man is now emerged as a vampire when he had gotten in the vicinity of Belle, aka Bloodline, Blade's daughter. And as he tries to attack Belle, Vision and the rest of the team stop him, and then Strange binds him using the Crimson Bands of Sidorak. Then he uses the Eye of Agamotto to free Miles' mind from the madness of the curse, and returning his mind back to his own. But physically, he's still a full-on vampire right now. And I can't help but wonder here if Steven and Clea could have used that same spell to fix Doctor Strange like that. And he could have been a vampire sorcerer right now. The Vampire Supreme. Seems like a wasted opportunity, but I'm guessing there was a reason for it. But now that Miles is back to himself, at least mentally, he apologizes to Belle for attacking her. But he had been ordered to hunt for her, and he couldn't fight it, he says. But Doctor Strange kind of trauma bonds with Miles on this one, because he too fell trapped to that same friend. But then here we find out that Belle still doesn't know who's behind all of this, because Dracula had popped up in Atlanta requiring her help, but he had never told her why, just that he needed her to help save the world. But when she's finally told here that it's her father, Blade, that's behind all of this, and now that he's the Lord of the Vampires, she's gonna have to be the one to strike him down. Hearing all of this, she freaks out, just like you'd expect. But Dracula assures her that her father is the new Lord of the Vampires, and he's unleashed all of this on the world. And Blade knows that Belle is now the only person that can stop him, which is why he sent his Blood Coven after her, because she's his bloodline and represents his only weakness. But then Tigra jumps in to defend Belle, because that was obviously a really heavy bomb that he just dropped. And she questions how they're supposed to just believe in Dracula now all of a sudden. But Dracula has put too much into legitimizing his vampire nation, and it'll fall just like the human nations if they can't stop Blade, he tells her. Meanwhile, as they're arguing, Captain Marvel notices that Belle is missing now. She's run off because, like I said, that was some heavy news that they just laid on her. And Miles understands and tries to get Dracula to understand what he just put on her out of the blue, that her father is the most evil person in the world right now, and she's got to be the one to put him down. How can he expect her to believe that he's telling the truth? So Spider-Man runs off to go and find her, and Dracula goes with. She's way too important to let out of his sight. And I'm sure we'll pick back up with that trip in their respective tie-in series. And Doctor Strange, he tries to call him back, but I'm really not even sure why he would. If Belle's out there alone, we know Blade is going to throw everything at her. But it's here where everybody plans their next moves. Steven and Clea have ideas on where they can go for some help with all of the Dark Force. And the Midnight Mission duo has a plan of their own to raise an army that the vampires can't kill or turn. But they're gonna need the help of one more person that they need to recruit. Which leaves the Avengers to draw out Blade and the Blood Coven from his impossible city fortress. So now that the plan is set, everyone goes their separate ways. And then Captain Marvel asks Tony how many broadcast systems does he think that he can hack into? And to him, that's a joke of a question, because he can get into them all. So her plan is to set up a broadcast to the whole world. And Sam Wilson is going to be the icon that T'Challa gave his life for Sam to be. So Tony does his thing, and just like that, Captain America is patched into the whole world and gives his public address about how bad things are, but that they're fighting back, even in spite of what they've already lost. And mainly he goes on to give the people hope that they can still win, that they've faced plenty of evils before, and they've overcome them just like they will now. And as he gives his message, we can see how bad this pisses off Blade. And we also see the Midnight Mission with their mysterious third person running through Asgard, and Steven and Clea as they enter into Latveria. And even T'Challa looking on from Wakanda at Cap's speech, and he's pleased that he's doing what he was supposed to be doing. But when Cap finishes his speech, they all just hope that it's enough to get Blade to come after them. They know that usually Blade is cool and unbothered, but whatever it is now that's wearing his skin is definitely not cool like Blade, Captain Marvel notes. As we see Blade screaming in anger now, and he calls for T'Challa to change plans and retarget those mass translocation drives. Since the Black Panther's friends refuse to lay down and die, and now they've got the audacity to try and inspire hope, he can't let that slide. And New York City will serve as the grave of the Avengers, as he drops his great prize in from the caves of Wakanda that haven't been seen since the days of old Atlantis, right in the Central Park, so that it can be their tombstone, he says. We now see what's called the Temple of the First Blasphemy, and that, my friends, is the end of the issue. So what did you guys think about this one? Y'all rocking with Blood Hunt so far? The farther this thing goes on, the more and more likely it appears to everybody reading and everybody in the story that Blade isn't quite Blade right now. And I said it before, but I'm pretty sure that this is the Adana that's changed him or controlling him. But I can't wait to find out for certain. But what do you guys think is happening with him? And who do you think that third person was with the Midnight Mission running through Asgard? They're really making sure we read all of those tie-ins. Some of them have been pretty damn good, though, I will say. But I want to hear all you guys' thoughts and theories down in the comments on this event. And as always, if you enjoyed this video and this channel, and you'd like to support the channel, then you could do so by stopping by the Comics Icon store and picking you up some of this merchandise, including the background music heard right here in this video available for download. Or by joining the Iconic Fan Club channel membership, and it'll be a link in the description to join. But with your membership, your voice will be heard during our interactive live streams with yours truly, where we could talk about everything that's been going down in these issues, as well as ones that you'd like for me to go over in the future and other comic book news. Plus, you guys will get loyalty badges, member shoutouts, and up to 20% off of Comics Icon's merchandise from the Comics Icon store. And now we've got new tiers to the memberships as well, starting at just 99 cents. Or you guys can donate to the channel with a super thanks. And if you're not able to do any of those, then you can still be a tremendous help to the future of this channel by dropping a like, share, and subscribing to Comics Icons for more icons in the comic book world. But ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time. I'm out.